Would you look at this perfect color scheme setup? I obviously planned that. Does anyone believe that? But you can definitely believe that it was quite the journey to get here. Then again, most of you know how we got here, so yeah. Anyways, long story short, ruins of Camdozal. Apparently. As after killing the stone guy, the nice dwarf that showed up invited us in. And what guest would I be if I would pass on that invitation? Rather opportunity of a lifetime to be allowed to journey through these caves with a local guide, I guess. And that's him now. And he tells us about a once bright future of this, well, apparently this was a city, but he's sure that we can make Camdozal great again. But wouldn't you know he needs my help, of course, as we need to keep this big forge here running. But it needs baronite, which fuels the thing. Coincidentally, can be found all around this place. Quite convenient. For once, there's no further running, and in return I get something out of the Great Vault, whatever that is, but I'll guess we'll find out. So I've heard enough and let's get going. Especially considering that the initial idea of me, well, getting good at ranged was that I would be now killing some wizards for some runes and magic gear so I can then start with the magic skill. And once again I wonder, how did I end up here now? But oh well, we'll take it as it comes. Not much else to do really, as I obviously cannot control what comes at all, which now that I listen to that again sounds really unfortunate. But hey, my IRL unfortunes aside, maybe I can make some fortunes in-game at least. That's what video games are for anyways. Haha. This video got way too real, way too quick. I apologize. So let's rather get going. And there's one really amazing thing about going in here, and that is one of my most favorite RuneScape songs so far. That in combination with the actually pretty detailed and stunning looking visuals in here, which are rather unusual so far, definitely made this one of my most favorite places I've been to so far. And technically I haven't even done anything yet. So let's do something about that by doing something. So I click a wall, and in old RuneScape tradition, I'm now watching my guy hit the wall. As it turns out, this type of mining doesn't stop actually. It's kind of like fishing. It only stops once your inventory is full. And you have to change your fishing spot every now and then once it's empty, but it's on a wall and it's 90-degree turned and purple, and actually quite the opposite of water now that I think about it. I digress. Let's rather focus that a little bit of doing absolutely nothing later. I am now the owner of a bunch of these purple dudes. Why do I have them? Why did I now spend all this time farming them? I'm not so sure yet, so let's find out. Back to our tour guide it is. I show him one of the guys, and turns out those are baronite deposits, who not only have baronite inside of them, but also potential mystery items. We just have to crack them open at these anvils here. And the baronite shards themselves, they can be stored in the forge meanwhile until we actually need them. For example, for one of these XP buffs inside of this area. But they're quite pricey though. And there's actually a bit of a maybe better, but definitely more fun use that we'll get to in just a bit. But first I go to the conveniently placed bank, just right next to where we just were, to get myself my hammer. And hammer open the purple guys as just discussed in anticipation of crazy loot. But other than a smithing level, wasn't really getting anything else than a bunch more shards. And of course the crazy thrill of knowledge, because well I now know that, I guess. It was time to try out the fishing part of this cave, or well city, I don't know. Be that as it may, I got myself my rod. Funny, I'm 12 by the way, at least my humor is. And some bait, and quickly found out that you can only do net fishing in here. Well, another absolutely stunning and enlightening moment later, you know, the thrill of knowledge and stuff. We do try this whole thing again, and wouldn't you know, you can fish in this game. Thrill of knowledge. There is a catch though, as fishing in here is obviously a little different, and it nets you a little bit of different loot. And those then can only be used inside of here, of course, at the altar. You do have to bring a knife though, which obviously I didn't do that, and I also missed the obvious knife on the ground. Because so far you could do anything in here without bringing anything in here. Regardless, after fishing we are now cooking in form of preparing the fish to then offer them to the altar for some prayer XP. And I think you can now kind of understand what this place is for really, because even I got it now. It's pretty much the go once get everything type of place, where you can level relatively comfortably almost every XP option in the game possible so far. Essentially the RuneScape equivalent of a Walmart, only definitely way better looking and the music's better too. And most importantly, given that I'm a European, I can now also go there. Definitely all really good arguments for why I like this place so much. But as mentioned before, we are not done yet, because in the heart of this place, well, essentially the middle, there is this door. And you know, speaking doors of RuneScape, nothing new. It tells us that this is the entrance to the vault mentioned earlier, and we need 750 baronite shards to be allowed to enter. Well, I guess with the nature of this place and with the nature of this game, it kinda had to happen eventually, didn't it? We're going on yet another RuneScape grind. But before we do that, and while I'm already here, I might as well explore the rest of the cave, and it turns out I can find more of these stone guys in here. I am absolutely exhilarated, of course, especially considering those in here aren't as strong as the boss earlier, and I can actually fight them with my bow now. You know, remember that actual thing we wanted to do all along? Yeah, that was... forget that. I don't know who came up with a plan like this. Well, a few kills later, you can already sense my frustration given the fact that I definitely switched back to my melee gear again because, yeah, bow was taking way too long, you know. Combat triangle. But way worse, actually, they're only dropping these ores. What am I even supposed to do with this in here? Guess it's kinda on topic. Okay. Fine, but I have way other plans. We gotta get into that vault. So we needed a switch of scenery. Well, not really, because in here everything looks the same, other than whatever this black hole here is. Couldn't quite figure that out, to be honest. But it was once again time to clear up my inventory. I'm unsure why I kept the money, but... who knows? And let's get going. And I have to say, this scenery now really brings out my stylistic genius, I have to say. Once again, of course, totally planned. And only a measly 50 minutes later, our inventory looks like this. The most talented detectives amongst you realize that this might not quite add up to 700 yet, but this was merely meant to be a benchmark, to be honest, as I wasn't quite sure how much 700 actually would be. And at that time, I was also kind of still debating whether I really want to do this. But, well, once I start something, I guess. So I hammer open the purple guys again, and wouldn't you know, I got something out of it. What is it? Well, let's ask the guy in charge. He doesn't really want it, but he assumes my kind would find that very interesting. Well, okay then. As per usual, I'm leaving with actually more questions than I came, but I answered one thing. I now know that 15 minutes of slapping a wall results in a halfway point when it comes to these shards. So naturally, yeah, we get to work again. So another 15 minutes of really hard work later, obtain myself another one of these inventories. And after once again fueling my gambling addiction and failing miserably, we also fuel the forge. And even my limited math skills tell me that we've reached 750. And we have also reached the door once again. God, I love doors in this game. And we have furthermore reached a point where I think it's easier to show you the next part, how it actually went down live, you know. Open vault door, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and don't ask again. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I'm assuming we have to go through the arrows and not through the crosses. Enter security barrier. Oh god, no, please, not again. Okay. Time remaining 1 minute. Whoops. I should have read that, huh? Here? Because if we go there... Oh, no, we simply just run through. Is that what's happening? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Someone should have told me about a timer. Here? Uh-oh. 10 seconds. Oh no! I take a lockbox. I think I did it. Oh no, there's another one. Okay. We missed the elaborate lockbox. Wait, I had to open it? Oh my god. I see. Okay. Removing any treasure you found. So you have to run in, get it? Oh, you can't open inside. You actually have to run out with it. Oh my god. Not gonna lie, that's, I think, exactly what was supposed to happen, given everything, really. Are you supposed, or are you able to get all of them? I'm somewhat tempted to do it again, actually. Fuck this game, out of spite, like these guys. Oh my god, yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, so now you see how these things happen, usually. I hope you learned your lesson, never play a game blind. And yeah, just like that, we're back to what now seems to be my most favorite activity. Left-clicking a wall. In perfect stylistic fashion, of course. This time obviously filling the entire inventory, but it's definitely no surprise that my gambling attempts still are not the most successful, let's say. And just merely repeating all of this once again is actually all it takes to get another shot at opening random loot boxes inside of a maze that has a timer that I now know of course. Was that worth smashing in a wall for almost an hour? I don't know yet, but chances are, given the nature of this game so far, I have mixed feelings, let's say it like that. Well, be that as it may, there is sadly only one way to find that out. Well, here I am once again. Ah, frickin' doors, man. And the aforementioned detectives once again might have figured out already that I even dropped my stylistic fashion. Unsure if it really matters whether you carry less or not, but given the fact that I grinded an hour to try this dumbass minigame again, I'd rather not risk it maybe. Which, well, brings us back to this moment of time once again where let's find out if the past hour was well worth it. There is dead ends, so if I go here... Ah, wait, there's a box too. Oh, there's a lot of them actually. Okay, well, at least I'm somewhat planning this for now. So I guess it is you either take a bunch of the small ones or you run all the way to the back, get the big one and run out. Yeah, I'll go with the let's just get a bunch of small ones strategy for now. We open the door and walk through here. Oh, running, of course. Fuck, there's no chest here this time. There's one here. There's no one chest over here. Okay, I see how this game works. Okay, so there could have been one here, but now there is none. Take... Hello? Okay, pathing. Nice. Okay, we take this. And we pretty much turn around as soon as it's 30 seconds, which is now, right? Nah, let's not be greedy. Okay, let's not be greedy. I could have been greedy, maybe. Oh no, 10 seconds. Okay, actually, good thing we did. Woo! Now we open and leave. Aha! How would I've ever guessed that on my first run? Holy shit! But I've also gotten an elaborate lockbox, so let's see if that was worth it at all. Box opening. Okay. We find 2 tin ore, 2 soft clay, and 44 feathers. This sounds horrible, given my personal understanding so far. Box number 2, 40 fishing bait, 6 oak logs, and an iron ore. Okay, it all comes down to the elaborate box. Don't be shit. An energy potion, I don't know what that is, and a plank times 3. I think it's safe to say that was definitely well worth my time. But to be honest, I saw that coming to a certain degree. I could have just killed one highway guy and I would have got 1 cave worth 500. Let's go. This is definitely one of these experiences where once I'm done with it, I'm more leaning towards the idea of, well, I now know that. Nonetheless, this is still my most favorite place to be in. And as much if you are isolating that vault thing, it is really not worth doing, given the fact that you are technically grinding, smithing, and mining XP, and then get rewarded with that vault run makes it sound a lot better, doesn't it? Also, having a place where you can pretty much do everything that this game offers without moving anywhere, well, there's a bank. The lazy person me definitely likes this a lot. And on top of that, I mentioned before, the visuals are amazing. Well, given RuneScape so far. But the best part, definitely the music. Pretty sure this is now one of my top 3 songs that I've come across so far. But, well, coming back to what I was actually intending to do initially, this was definitely one of these distractions along the way that I didn't expect to happen at all. But for once, I'm very glad it did. And as much as this was actually intended to be a great lead up to the mage arc, it turned out to be a noob's perspective of the ruins of Camdozal, which I guess, well, I'll take it. And as much as I did enjoy my time here, we definitely once again have bigger and better things to do. Also on top of that, I'm still not too sure how important the XP you gain in here will be eventually for my gameplay, so who knows, maybe we will be coming back eventually. I definitely wouldn't mind, but for now it's finally time to move on and maybe get a bit closer to what we actually wanted to do. But I assure you from here on forth, no more further, well, major distractions. No, honestly, we will really work on this mage thing. Well, maybe.